Hi, this is Hi Bob Poor Bob, and we're about to play some Ultimate General Civil War.
Hello, and welcome back. Today we are going to be playing Laurel Hill. So I am bringing mostly infantry. A lot of it will be just running around in circles for a lot of it, but it will be helpful. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this. So we need 2 infantry, 2 artillery, and 2 snipers first, and then we will be having 3 infantry, 2 artillery, and a sniper. And then we'll get, no, I think it's actually like this. We'll get 2 snipers. Yeah. So we need these 2 to shore up the lines to begin with. And then we need all these guys to make sure that our line doesn't break. And we need all the artillery to start working on their artillery as soon as possible. A lot of these final units you could make into artillery units or more snipers. I do have more snipers, and I do have a lot of 10-pounder parrots. So I could bring them in. It would lose a lot of experience because a lot of these troops need to, gain stamina because they're only at 77 stamina. And it'll be a good gain for morale and all that on all these units. So I would rather bring them than not bring them if possible. But you could probably fight this battle with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units of infantry probably. And then you could have all the rest of this, the other 7 units here, be either snipers or artillery. So we are on to Laurel Hill. I don't think outnumber them. Yeah, we do not outnumber them. And we obviously don't outgun them either. Even with our allied units, we are very much so outnumbered. They have 75 brigades to my 38. Like, we are outnumbered in every single way. They have a bunch of units of 24-pound howitzers. 6 there. There's a 12-pound howitzer. 2 10-pounder parrots. And so 4 20-pound parrots. That was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 units of 24-pound howitzer. And another unit of 20-pound parrots. So 5 units of 20-pound parrots. So they outgun us. They outnumber us. The only thing we have going for us is the fortifications and the fact that the AI is not super intelligent. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Hello, everybody, and I'm here with Fiasco.
Hey there.
Johnny.
Hi.
And Pandakraut.
Hello.
And we're going to watch Laurel Hill here and see if I can get a good result. So.
Shenanigans abound.
Shenanigans abound. Right now, I'm basically just trying to move all my units into place because, you start out with a lot of allied units in this one.
Yep. Combined division would be especially useful in this case.
I do that later, but to start off with, they're a little bit. You kind of need all the units you have.
Yeah.
So did you end up finding a way to keep your artillery alive, more or less?
I did. I kept them back, and I put them in that house back there. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was wondering.
That's far enough back they don't get counter batteried.
Well, that and they're in a house, so they've got cover, so they get bonus to stealth.
Indeed.
In
I was
cover.
wondering why that artillery was like hiding back there.
And
So I guess even if they do get hit, what do you care?
It's only like 50 or 60% cover, so it's not great cover, just because they're cannons.
Artillery has terrible cover.
And artillery has terrible cover. Basically, I just got hidden by the 8th South Carolina. I got him hidden so that Winslow walked out there. For some reason, even the ones that are my allies, they don't usually shoot them all that much. It's kind of weird. Move the supply wagon up there. It kind of baits some charges, which is nice.
Indeed.
So you gave up on the early Northern Sniper?
I did. I just found that it basically knocks the enemy back too fast, and they don't come back. And you really want
Right.
the enemy to keep going to the north, because that really helps take the load off of everywhere else.
Just
Otherwise, they all end up in the center, and it's just
It's
too
bad
much
time.
pressure.
Yep.
Okay.
This is why you
Black
beat them
is
with
really
even-
annoying.
Indeed.
He just keeps disappearing every game. So, and then this was kind of dangerous. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna get killed. I
I
never
think you-
had them charge.
I think you could have left him in the fortification and just fired.
I did. Yeah, I didn't mean
Okay.
to actually move out. I kept trying to click on the unit, and it kept moving my unit instead. It was not intentional. But yeah, I let charges happen on my fortifications
Yeah.
relatively often because it really usually you get better kills than losses, and I mean you see the numbers just shoot down on some of those units.
Indeed.
In
The-
melee.
it's a
there.
it's a good use of. It wears out their condition a lot more than it will yours in the fortifications, so it should slow down the next charge a little bit. So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It really helps out, and they run a long way away after that. Usually, it really breaks their morale as well. I
It's really
think
good.
I mixed in
Go
a
on.
unit there. Yeah, I mixed in the unit. Forgot to put them back in the fortification there for a second. Sorry.
I think it was just a short time. I think.
No, I meant like sorry for interrupting you.
Oh no. Go. That's okay.
Is Tidebull one of your snipers? The guy who's in like the south of the center VP?
Yes,
Okay.
he is. I think he's lost. He's gonna lose some men there. I'm not gonna lie.
But he's relatively hidden for the early stage of the battle at least.
No. The problem is their sniper that they always bring there. I have a really hard time keeping their sniper off my unit. Their sniper is standing like right there and is firing at my unit in the fortification, like right by Baudet.
Oh, okay.
And every
Wouldn't-
time I move forward just a little bit or try to do anything, that sniper will get seen and get shot. And sometimes it even gets shot while it's just standing there invisible, but it's actually getting shot. I'm not sure if that
Wouldn't-
happens here. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Wouldn't artillery use of artillery would be good against that sniper, even though it would be far range and against the skirmisher. It's still better than, well, not shooting.
But
at
he
it.
can't see it.
I can't even see it.
I see.
Until I move my unit took a shot, the cab comes forward. Did you see the skirmisher for just a second there?
Yep. Yep.
But all you get is like 1 second of view on him every once in a while when he fires because he's standing right in those trees. Those trees give him great cover, and I just cannot seem to get eyes on him. And every time I move forward, I keep getting hit, or the cav came after me that one time. But for the most part, it's actually the skirmisher that's sitting there, and you just can't see him. And I just learned that I can't do anything, basically, because that's why
Did
he's
you
back that far.
try? Did you try pulling units out of the fortifications? I don't know if you can get them. Like, if you could pull them back to get him out of the trees and then rush them back forward again. I don't know if you have time with
It's
everything
my
else going on.
fortification to the south is oftentimes the one that he fires at,
Oh, okay.
and I cannot
So he'll
pull
just
out of that
switch to one
fortification.
and you can't get out. Yeah.
I forget if you have like a recon unit for this battle. Would that have
I mean,
worked? Or
I mean, my sniper's right there,
no? Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And
got
he's-
scouting.
and he is fully perked for scouting.
Mm,
He
mean,
doesn't have the
technically-
extra range. He doesn't have the increased fire rate or reduced fire rate. He's just straight up scouting and stealth.
mm.
Like, I think technically, if you had a dismounted cavalry unit, you'd have a stealthier unit, but there's no way to get higher spot than what you have. So I don't.
Right, and then
I
you
don't
have
think that would help.
and then you have shorter range.
Yeah, no, then that unit just sits there in spots and doesn't do anything else. So can't afford that on this battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep getting some shots on Black, which is good because he's stressing me out. I'm not gonna lie. I decided to go ahead and pull back the 15th South Carolina. I think here soon. I guess I didn't. I thought I decided to pretty soon here.
Hmm.
Oh, and Cabo keeps getting blocked by units instead of firing at Black.
These fortifications sometimes are just they flanked from ridiculous angles. They can't shoot from ridiculous because somebody's in a ridiculous angle. It's fortunate.
Yeah, I
think
like
they-
the fact that that sniper's sitting up there and not doing a whole lot.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Tidball keeps taking damage from things, and he's not even close to units that should be getting shot. See,
Probably
there's that
artillery.
skirmisher. There he is. I found him.
Hmm.
But as soon as I fall back far enough to like not
He
be
goes invisible
seen,
again.
he goes invisible, and if I'm seen, then I get hit by all the artillery.
Hmm. Probably.
There we go. Now I fell back the 15th, and I'm gonna go and merge him with Hinnigan.
Probably maybe a if it's really need to remove that sniper, just have a sacrificial skirmisher unit or
Well, I mean, in the end, like, I don't take, like, I think it's like maybe 60 casualties total for maybe 50 casualties total on that sniper total, which is bearable. It's not great, but it's better than some options. Melee is amazing. Does so much damage to some of these units.
Indeed. It's one of
And
the times where they charge you and you win it.
yeah, I have a hard time getting them to merge up sometimes with that unit. They
I
keep
think you have
wanting to walk around.
You have to do let it happen naturally, because unless you get that unit right on top of them, they'll rotate so that they're perfectly going in line to move in a straight line toward that unit. So if that exposes their flanks, then well.
Yeah. What I figured is if I set them back near 63.2 and just tell them to merge from that point, they'll walk forward perfectly and just merge. Easy. So that's what I end up doing later on. Pretty soon I'm going to start doing some of my stupid shenanigans with circles. There we go. Good old circles.
Got to build up that stamina.
Gotta get those stats, man.
Every single unit by the end of the battle has basically max stamina, so
Hot.
pretty happy with that. I do take some pauses later on so that you don't have to watch all of it happen.
I am entertained by the complaints of how to get fewer casualties in this battle, and then you have a bunch of units come in that just run in circles for a bit.
Hey, don't judge me.
It could all have been heavy artillery.
It could have all been heavy artillery, but then I wouldn't gain all the experience. And like, where's the fun in not gaining
Wow.
experience?
Casualties or
And really, even whenever I brought
think
in,
the stream might have frozen.
uh-oh.
oh, did
That's
it?
not good. Has his internet died? Yep. His internet is dying.
That's not good.
Okay, now it's back.
Yeah, it's back. Much better.
Good times, good times.
Well, there's an edit for you. Just kidding.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So, moving more skirmishers to the south. I only bring 4 skirmisher units, 4 artillery, and the rest is all infantry. And half of that infantry just runs around the majority of the battle. So yeah, look how far I have to go forward just to get eyes on him. Like, and I barely even got eyes on him. So now what I did is, since he retreated out of the woods, now I move forward to the edge of this woods, so that then he'll be back there, and if he tries to walk forward, I'll probably get eyes on him. Probably. I don't remember
Yeah.
if it actually
Just
works.
block off his access to the cover.
Right. That was my thought. I don't know if it actually works out or not. I don't see him come forward, but see, whenever an infantry unit like that comes forward, then I need to retreat back. Because I can't take on an infantry unit from cover shooting at me. Snipers don't break them fast enough for that.
Personally, rather than having those units walk in circles, I would have considered an attack in the north with them. Because yes, they have the fortifications up there, but if you do it right, I would think that you'll be able to flank it easily.
Yes, you can, but you always take like 200 casualties.
Of course, but if you're able to surround the Union from up north and bag the entire Union army, though, and you might get some captures as well.
I do end up getting some captures from all the units that are in fortifications, but almost none of their units are up there, but yet you'll get shelled to pieces by the units that wrap around up there will get shelled to pieces by all the artillery out in the middle.
Yeah, there's that.
They've got so much artillery, and I think we shattered their skirmishers here. I'm not 100% certain. I don't think I actually looked right before. So I did it from further back that time, and it merged right up, which is perfect. Come on, put him back in the fortification. I lost
I
track
think
of
that's
that.
just where you see the differences in play styles, because I look at this and be like, and I'm like, well, you have all these units sitting back here, which could all be helping you destroy all that artillery at the moment.
Infantry does so bad at killing artillery, but yes, if I brought heavy artillery, it
Yeah,
would
more
it would
like
do
more
better.
snipers or a few more units of long range artillery, then like you could be thinning out that horde already.
I don't know. In
Because,
the base
like-
game, infantry's fine against artillery, I think.
Just charge
Not
them
that
or
many
just shoot
artillery.
them.
It doesn't
Yeah,
work.
Okay.
there's
Okay.
enough on this map that it's, it would work, but if you're trying to go for absolute minimum casualties, it won't
Yeah.
go. That'll go poorly.
See, the whole catch is that I want to get minimum casualties while also getting maximum experience.
Mm.
Both. I want the best of both worlds, and sometimes that gets me in trouble. I can admit that.
You don't get melee though. Sadness. Kidding.
You know, I don't get melee in this battle as much as I would have liked, but there's just not a whole lot I can do about it whenever they've got so many units on the battlefield. They outnumber me in units by a lot.
I'm sure if you replace that combined division of allied units with one of yours, you'd get plenty of melee experience, but the casualties you take probably won't be acceptable.
Yeah, I thought about it, and I almost went ahead and did it, but, I mean, towards the end, you'll get to see how many kills my allied unit gets, because all of the infantry will be merged into the one unit, and I think it's something like 16,000 kills that it got. So,
If only that were one of your units.
of course, that is 6 units of the allies, so it's not like any single unit did really crazy good, and I mean, it took like 3,000 losses, I think, by the end, out of 5,000 men. 5,500 men, it lost 3,000.
Yep.
So by the end, it's right around 2,500 left. And wow, this does take a long time to get through, doesn't it?
It's not that long.
Yeah, we're only a third of the way through.
Yeah. I mean, but it's a longer battle.
Yeah,
And this is, I believe, just a side mission, right?
yeah, it's
It
just a
is.
side mission. The number of artillery in this mission is pretty much equal to most major battles that I've fought up to this point. So it's rather stunning just how much artillery they give them for this battle.
And what use is that artillery against your fortifications? Almost nothing.
That is correct. And I make sure that unit on the corner there takes the majority of the hits from all the artillery. They just like targeting them. As soon as you get any units behind their line, though, they switch up. Like, if any of these skirmishers get seen, they instantly just melt their faces. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason why that one unit went down by like 75 men, was because of artillery targeting that
Do
I
they
missed.
actually have good artillery in the battle?
Yeah,
like, in general.
they've got like 3 or 4 20-pound parrots and like 8 24-pound parrots, and then most of the rest of it is like 10-pound parrots, which are not bad in the UI mod.
I mean, like, so the problem is like most of those units are, if there's a decent chunk that are 10-pound parrots, they're all at a bad range for it because they spawn so close that they're not firing at max range.
I think it's those
So,
ones that are sitting way back there.
It's possible. That's hard to tell.
A lot of them are 24-pound howitzers, so they move in closer, and anytime you get close to them with infantry, you just get shredded.
Yeah, but they don't do much against the fortifications because they're all too
Right.
far away.
They don't do much against the fortifications, but if you try to actually go after them, it gets painful. And they have enough 20-pound parrots that they do still do good amount of damage to units that aren't in fortifications.
If only you had some counter battery.
I do have counter battery. I
Not
have
if I say. Just
4
kidding.
24-pound parrots. They're now
Just
starting to move
kidding.
over here to the south of the map. I think they're 2 of the 4 are down there now.
Mm.
And they'll start making pretty short work of their artillery once they get there. It's quite amazing how fast 20-pound parrots chew through
Oh, yeah.
artillery whenever
any
they're in
version
the
of
right
this game.
spot.
Once they get online, oh boy, just watch out.
Yeah. I use my supply wagon a little bit to kind of distract them, and then move in and shatter them both.
Charge! Or just not even charge, just shoot them and they die.
Yeah. And then I move my supply wagon over there to draw in any other units they might have, because I'm not sure if they have other units. So 55 men on Tidsdale isn't terrible. I'm not real enthused about that. I'm a little bit more upset about the 65 men I lost on the other unit. At some point, I'm going to pause this a couple times. I don't remember when. It takes a long time to get units from like 80 to 100. Well, it's really 70 that they're at.
So when you're running the units in circles, you actually run them and let them get exhausted?
Yep.
You found that that's better than just
Yes.
keeping them in high condition so they move normal?
They move faster while exhausted and running than they do while walking at 100% speed.
Gotta love the base game.
Yeah. That is not true in the rebounds.
No. Yeah, that's... All right, fair enough. I did not realize that it was that good.
I mean, if it's not that good, it's awfully close, because I actually measured a unit walking for a long period of time as opposed to running for a long period of time, and I got the unit down to like 50% on its condition for the walking one, and still had way more experience on the one that had been running. Like magnitude higher, like 2 times more experience on the one that had ran than on the one that had walked.
Fair enough. Interesting.
This is why I like your content, Bob. Is you do all this like measurement. So much of what I do is just kind of off the cuff or like from the hip, and that's fine. But I can't back any of it up with data.
Yeah, I got really bored on the battle that you have unlimited time.
At Mansfield?
Just a few battles
Yeah.
ago. I was talking to Panda about a couple different things during that. Do you remember that? I was asking questions about whether or not running really does give you more experience, and I messaged you later like it definitely does.
Yeah, that's stuff that I haven't taken too close a look at. Like those systems, other than, condition doesn't do enough when you don't have it. Like I feel like that system mostly works fine, so it's not something that I've run a bunch of numbers myself for.
So here, I thought that the units, that I had beaten pretty much all the units, so I was like, okay, I'll be fine now, except that one unit. I was like, okay, I'll fall back, and then they'll come forward. But more units come forward than I thought, and I've already moved away my units from the front line, up in the north, which turns it into a little bit of a regret.
Ouch.
Not too bad, but I have to rush some units back over. I wanted to give myself a chance for those units to actually get up. See, they charge all the way over there. I was like, I thought they were gonna come forward over here where they looked like they were headed, and then the snipers hit me from behind, and it's like, great. And then artillery. Oh man, artillery. It's
I
so
feel like
painful.
that's a situation where if you're going to pull most of the unit, just leave the detached skirmishers behind, and then just as a safety measure. That's
pretty much what I end up doing. I end up using mostly the detached skirmishers just to draw their attention. So here I go ahead and get hidden with most guys, because we want to get ready for the artillery to pretty much run forward. Most of them run forward pretty good, or basically don't have anything to fire at anymore. Snipers are being annoying. I don't think we get a capture here. I think we just shatter Laural, which is fine. A little disappointing. I mean, he routed straight through a 2,500 man unit.
If only surrendering were more consistent, but...
There we go. Now I paused and gave orders. So I decided I will move them around up here instead of having them go all the way back to back to the back there.
I feel like we're getting pretty close with the surrendering. Like, it doesn't always work, but like you do see the mass surrenders happening sometimes.
Yeah, and later on, I do get some surrenders that are very, very generous. Just firing even. I didn't even have to get into melee with some of them. Because whenever you have a massive amount of fire. So I'm really happy that I ran away with the men there, and then the skirmishers came out. Got close enough that whenever I moved back forward, then I was able to get a hold of them. That worked out really well for me. And see, their all their cannons are starting to come forward.
The
Yeah,
devs
'cause
really
they're-
were nice to not extend the fortifications all the way to the edge.
What do you mean?
On the right side of the map, where your snipers are sort of edging in,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
they could have put another trench there, and they didn't.
If only.
yeah. There's something similar at Stones
I
River.
mean, who were they nice to?
The player, because there's a giant gap to flank behind the entire Union line.
Indeed.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with the north as
Yeah.
well. Well, the gap is a bit smaller, but
I
Still-
thought the one in the north extended all the way to the edge.
nope.
Not quite.
I feel like I went up there once or twice, and it
Oh,
looked
it's
worse,
brutal.
and so I never bothered going there again.
Oh, it's brutal. Like, if you try to cross that, you'll take 250 casualties in seconds.
Because there's definitely multiple lines of fortifications up there as well, so it just, like, even if you get through one easy, you still have another one, so
I
it
think
just
there's
never
only
seemed worth
just-
it to me.
I think there's only just one line up there.
The
and
second
then
one
you-
isn't bad. It ends like kind of, you can see it right there where it ends.
Yeah.
Right to the east of the second one in the north. You can see it right there.
It's basically on Seminary Ridge because this is the Gettysburg map.
I wish you could see my mouse, but
Oh, we can see it. We can't see.
Oh,
our
we
mouse
can
on
see the
No.
recording. of the mouse.
recording, of course.
you can see the
but
recording mouse, but you can't see my current mouse.
No,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yay, Discord.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me try to identify.
So we get back around there. We're going to get some more shots on their artillery. I'm a little surprised that some more of their artillery doesn't move forward this time. Most of the time,
Probably-
I've gotten really lucky about them moving forward better than that, but
They probably see like a unit somewhere and they're just like scared or something. Or maybe they need to see a single unit and then perhaps they'll move forward to target it. But,
I mean,
and
they
can't-
can see the supply wagon there, and they don't fire at it.
Of course, they'll probably program. I think they're programmed not to fire the supply wagon. If
They will fire at them sometimes.
Sometimes, yes, if like they're I think the closest target or something, or within a certain.
I
range,
believe if they're the
perhaps.
only target, because I've I've had them select other targets in lieu of the supply wagon.
But see, like that cannon right there, reloads, and then just sits there. It doesn't have any targets. And usually they just keep walking forward until they find a target. But for some reason, every once in a while they're not doing that here. I don't know why.
They've probably given up attacking you since they have no strength left.
I guess. It walked all the way up there. I think I gave orders to everybody again. Yay. So now I'm surrounding it, and for some reason it doesn't even turn once it sees me. I'm really confused about this. I think they're just
might
like
be-
locked.
It's
That
probably bugged out.
Yeah.
that or it's targeting an invisible target or something, or it thinks it sees something, or it might have seen something. It's just focused on that, but I don't know.
So
Who
yeah, I
knows
get
what the AI does?
a few more shots off on it. Most of the artillery is dead at this point. It's not 100% gone. So I go ahead and start moving my snipers to the rear of the enemy. Because why not?
Start shooting them.
Nope, you don't want to shoot them yet. The whole reason why you don't want to shoot them is because I don't have any infantry back there, and as they start breaking out of the fortifications, they will overwhelm my snipers. So you actually want to just get back there and then start moving infantry back there, but you can get vision, make sure there's no other... I mean, I could just check the numbers to see what the artillery has, but I think there is 1 or 2 more units of artillery around, so I'm kind of hunting for them, not really wanting to actually have their infantry start breaking out and coming after me.
Yeah, because there's usually a couple units hidden in that center line of trees that never come out.
There I'm checking on their numbers to see how close they are to 100 on their skirmishers, because like I've talked about before, on their skirmishers you can see whether or not they actually have 100 or the perk just gives them 10, which makes it look like they have 100. So I'm finding ones that either have 99 or 100 and telling them to move, because by the time they get to where they're going, they'll be high enough. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
That one I think was at like 98, so I decided just to move it in place pretty much. So I found one unit that was good enough, so I'll move him over and bring back one unit. I think most of those are good enough now. Basically, this is the part where it gets kind of boring. I'm not going to lie.
Just mopping up the enemy.
Yeah, from a recording perspective, the cleanup phase is always kind of the hardest to make interesting.
Yeah, but the catch is here, in a lot of ways, it never gets uneventful enough that I feel like I should just skip it all, except these parts where I'm just telling them to move.
Honestly, this is the part where you take all the needless casualties.
No, actually you
well,
don't.
Not you specifically, but I'm saying
Okay.
if you're not careful, you can.
Right, and showing people what you can do if you're careful, I felt like was important. How I set up, how I got to where I was, and what my thought process was behind it. So what I'm doing now is I'm moving all these units close, but not too close, because all of them are exhausted. So once they get to where they're going, then they'll stop, regain all their condition, and then we'll go ahead and start moving forward, since they're all exhausted. It's not worth letting them wait back there because they're in the way of all those other units. So you don't really want them to be back there in the way of...
Right.
And also running them all the way there, they move pretty much just as fast, if not a little bit faster, than they would walking there at 100% condition. So they're already exhausted. You might as well just run them. Even if it is a little bit faster walking. I'm not sure how closely I tested it, but the catch is that for the gaining of stamina, gaining of stamina.
It should be distance covered is how much stamina you get. So if you travel across the map in like rapid time, then you will get stamina according to the distance traveled. So
right, what I'm saying is you gain stamina based on distance traveled. So you move faster while running. So you gain more stamina up front. But by the time you might be moving faster at 100% condition, your condition has fallen because you've been walking that much time. So you don't actually gain back because you've already lost time if you have to have them regain stamina to get up to 100 to actually be faster than what they would be running.
Yeah. It's the opposite in the rebalance, since there's much more harsh penalties for low condition, but thankfully it's not the rebalance.
Yeah. And capturing the flag doesn't even matter. I think about shooting that guy. I was trying to get eyes on the cannons, and I finally found him.
Everyone, focus fire on that target.
I thought there was something involving with catching the flag that would add things early, but maybe that's just before the timer goes down or something. I don't remember anymore.
I don't actually know, but it did say in the thing that it would be bad, but I didn't actually find that to be true while actually playing. I did get fired at a little bit there, a little bit mad about that, but I thought he would have shattered by now. He just did not want to shatter. Trying to keep eyes on their one artillery unit that's left. I think it's the only one left. It's pretty close to the only one if it's not the only one. Pretty much have full, I think it's full, or pretty close to full on the units of infantry there. So I'm going to have them start moving forward. I think I might still have them set to run, which is probably not the best. Pretty soon I'm going to want them to set to run, because it's always good whenever you're doing your surrounds to have them set to run usually. As long as you don't move them too continuously. You move them, let them sit, move them, let them sit. It's good to be able to respond quickly without having to set them to run while you're in the middle of your surround, because it can lead to you thinking that you told a unit to move forward quickly, and instead they move slowly, and that can get you into big trouble. So here we're changing sides of the river now that we're rested. Basically, we're just looking to set up an entire surround on them so that they can't
escape.
Right, they can't escape. We don't have to be too close together, but we do want to be close enough together that they don't feel like they can fit through the gaps.
Are you out of supply at this point?
No. I actually have one supply wagon with about, that one right there, Perrin, hasn't been being used all that much. The supply wagon for the 20-pound parrots is out, and I think I set Perrin to not supply 20-pound parrot, not to supply my cannons, because I don't really care about my cannons now that their cannons are dead. Just that every once in a while firing is fine for keeping their morale down, but actually there's very low likelihood that you're actually going to break them out of fortifications with them at this point.
Yeah, with enough of them you will.
Yeah, but only 4.
Yeah, 4 probably is not enough to really reliably do it.
No, not unless I could move them behind them and do it, but from this side of them, from the front side of them, it's not likely to break them out. Just trying to make sure that everybody, and I make sure and use my allied units to take some of the hits that I know that I'm going to take here, because there's just nothing you can do about it. I got really lucky there. Tower almost killed himself. I think I gave a move order instead of an attack order on that, and he went way too far forward. Almost got shot. So there we go. There's the first unit that just leaves its fortifications. More and more units will start leaving their fortifications even without me shooting them. I'm not 100% certain why in this map they seem to do that. But see, he goes back in his fortification now. Even though I didn't knock him out to begin with. I think they just like to charge every once in a while or something, so they start charging and weird things happen. I don't really understand it. I think both the ones in the south there, I mean, in the very north, not the very south, will actually end up charging out after me at some point. Later in the battle. Suicidal AI. Oh, yep. See, that one was in the fortification and then left the fortification and came out and attacked me there. So now this fortification is empty and it's easy to move in. Draw their attention with the allied units, shoot them from behind, get into the forest. We're going to back up here because we do not want to actually get shot. We're not going to take very many more losses at this point, or that is definitely the goal. Now we need to get our snipers around to the north, because now we have a good solid line here in the trees, but I don't think I moved them yet, but I should. Kind of looking at their numbers, seeing if they're close to 99 or 100, and if they are, pretty much moving them forward now, because there's no reason to keep them back at this point. Trying to make sure that everybody gets far enough forward that we have a good wrap on those guys. And then once they leave their fortifications, we'll be in position to move forward so they can't reattach to their position. Anybody have anything interesting to say? Sorry, I've been talking a lot.
That's fine.
I mean, it's your video, so yeah.
I'm used to being alone, so I had to fill all the gaps.
I mean, it's wrap-up phase, so not a whole lot more going on.
Right, but that's also the time that you guys could have thoughts about, I don't know, things.
Not enough melee! Just kidding.
This guy.
There's never going to be enough melee for you. There you go. I set him to only...
Yeah. I don't know if there actually is a level of melee that Johnny would think is sufficient.
Probably not. So here works out really well. They run forward.
Commit suicide.
Charging is just a terrible idea there.
And they surrender.
And there you go. There's the surrender with shooting that I alluded to earlier. And I should have moved all my snipers to the north, because at this point, they would be much more useful up there. See, there's one unit leaving the fortifications. And see, if I had had all my units up there, then I would have been able to shoot this guy easier. Not that guy, but the 91st whatever there is kind of... Most of my losses will be on that allied unit, and I'm okay with that.
It's an ally's, not yours. Why didn't you care about it? Just kidding.
That is true.
I mean, I guess they have Lorenzes, so it's not like
No.
you need more rifles at this point.
They don't have Lorenzes. They have
They have
the
CS?
melee.
So is it the Fayettevilles
No,
or
the
something?
It's
No,
not
the-
Fayettevilles. It should be the CSR, right?
if
It should be
that's, is that the
it
right
should be
name
the
for it? It's not
Inter-
CSR, but it's
The
CS Richmond.
Richmond.
CS
there you go,
yeah.
CS Richmond.
Yeah, those are-
CSR. Okay, yeah.
It's
Those
not
are
bad.
good rifles.
Yeah, they're melee focused rifles.
I think it's the only the only late war affordable CSA rifle that they produce on their own. They could buy from the shop.
Yeah.
The rest you have to.
I do
Capture.
rather like the CSR from a Confederate perspective.
Yeah. I
think it's
really-
only Go on.
Wanted my snipers to be up north at this point. I really regret having them basically facing that unit that's walking forward. They should be up where the other unit is up there. In my opinion. I think that was a
And
mistake.
Is that unit charging from that distance? or
Yes.
just running away? Oh my
Yes, I think
goodness.
so. I was just like, wow, they're just handing me their fortifications now. They've completely abandoned all of them, basically. And
More suicide.
so I wanted to move into the trees, and I hesitated for a second there because I was shooting that other unit. And now I regret it because I couldn't get into the trees before they were going to shoot at me. And I take losses on the allied unit on purpose, basically, moving forward to cover everybody else's retreat.
Yeah. You should have charged them at that point. Just kidding.
Well, I mean,
Maybe with the allied unit you could have charged them down. You might have won that one.
I probably would have, but I would have taken more losses on the rest of my men as well.
Speaking
More
of
losses-
taking more losses,
More losses than I would have. Because
it
I'm
would
not
be
going to take
interesting
any.
to see how this plays with all the new charge logic stuff that's in the guides
Oh
at the
my
moment.
Oh yeah,
goodness.
it would be terrible. I would definitely not be leaving all my men back.
You're like,
Yeah,
It'd
no,
be-
not that case.
See, get another surrender from range. That's cool. Everybody else is pretty much just routing now, so I think all 4 units surrender almost at the exact same time. And I've still got 4 hours left on this battle. No, 3 hours left on this battle, possibly. But that's it.
Yay. Surrender mechanic
Yay.
working as intended.
Well, that's all she wrote, guys.
Indeed.
boom.
At this point, all it is just me talking after this. So, only 4,690 losses total. Most of those will be my allied units. My unit losses look to be... Start off with this one, 407, almost 400. And after that, it's 200, 200, 100. And keeps going down from there, pretty much. We did lose some snipers. More than I would have liked. But less than is very possible to lose here, because it is easy to lose snipers. Obviously, some of these units didn't get hardly any kills or losses, but the 4 artillery units did extremely well. Let's see what our top kills are. It's going to be a lot of allied units because they took the most losses. They got in the positions to get the most kills. It's just kind of how that goes. So this one did the best, but then it's mostly filled with allied units, which is kind of... This one didn't do very well for allied units, but all the rest of the allied units are... I mean, I say it didn't do very well. It got 1,000 kills, which is more than my lowest sniper got, so it was still doing pretty well for itself. The allied artillery did not do quite as well, but I mean, still 1,000 kills on a probably a... I think this is one of the 10 parrots, 10-pounder parrots. Had 1 wound. Almost everybody else did pretty good. Yeah, so we just had one of our allied units wounded and mine wounded, but then all the rest did pretty well. Got a bunch of major generals out of this. And a bunch of 24-pound howitzers, 20-pounder parrots, Springfield 63s, 61s. Got back a bunch of Richmonds because I lost all the Allied units had Richmonds in this one. Overall, 1842. Did one of my units have 1842s? One of my units had 1842s, evidently. That actually lost men. Now that's hilarious. I gotta find out which unit that was. I must have accidentally put them on it instead of probably the 63s. I was probably aiming for the 63s because I did put 63s on several units. My guess is it'll be one of my 63 units that ends up being that one. We did get some captures, nothing crazy though. It's just really hard to get captures here. That's all there is to it. Let's see, highest kills, skirmishers, then some artillery, but for the most part kept them all low. Okay, let us skip ahead then to the screen here. That is pretty good. Let's see here. See if we can find that Harper's, I don't see it. Did one of my Allied units have it? No, because there wasn't enough of them. I lost a lot of Allied men, so. Maybe it was one of my Allied units. How did this unit end up here? Is that just the extras? Yeah, that's just the extras. I know I put... That's weird. I don't know where that came from. I don't know how there was 42s in there. We just have a few injured guys, so we're not really too worried about that. Somehow I have negative career points. I don't know how that happened. So we are looking at fighting not too bad amount here at Cold Harbor next. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you there. Bye. Well, I hope you guys have had as much fun as I've had. This has been a blast. I hope to see you back here for the next episode. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.